was filled with excitement as Ryan Gosling stepped into one of the most fascinating places connected to space exploration. Even after spending decades in the entertainment industry, he admitted that moments like this still felt incredibly special. Standing inside facilities associated with NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, he looked around with genuine wonder. The environment, the scientists, and the sense of discovery made the entire experience unforgettable. For Gosling, visiting a place where space exploration happens every day was both inspiring and humbling. Reflecting on the moment, Ryan Gosling joked about how his younger self might react if he could see him now, standing in such an extraordinary location. He laughed and imagined that the younger version of himself would probably focus on something completely different. According to him, the young Ryan would probably say, "Where are your hammer pants?" referring to the flashy fashion trends that were popular during his youth. The playful comment brought laughter to everyone around him, showing Gosling's ability to keep things light even while discussing something as serious and inspiring as space exploration. But beneath the humor, Gosling expressed genuine admiration for the work being done by scientists at NASA and JPL. He talked about how incredible it is that humanity has created machines capable of traveling billions of miles through space. One mission that particularly fascinated him was the Voyager 2 mission. He explained that Voyager 2 is still being monitored today and remains one of the farthest human-made objects from Earth. For Gosling, the idea that a spacecraft launched decades ago is still traveling through the universe represents the very best of human curiosity and ambition. He described Voyager 2 as the original Hail Mary mission, drawing a connection to his new film, Project Hail Mary. The spacecraft carried the famous golden record, a symbolic message from humanity to any potential extraterrestrial life forms that might encounter it in the distant future. That record contained music, images, and greetings from Earth, meant to represent the diversity and beauty of human civilization. For Ryan Gosling, thinking about such missions made him feel both proud and humbled. It reminded him that humans are capable of incredible achievements when they work together with imagination and determination. The themes of exploration and survival also lie at the heart of Project Hail Mary, the new science fiction film starring Ryan Gosling. In the movie, he plays a character named Ryland Grace, a school teacher who unexpectedly becomes humanity's last hope for saving the planet. The story follows Grace as he wakes up alone on a spaceship with no memory of how he got there. Slowly, he begins to piece together the truth. The sun is dying, and he has been sent on a desperate mission to find a solution. Unlike many traditional space heroes, Ryland Grace is not a trained astronaut. In fact, he's just a teacher from Grover Cleveland Middle School who gets pulled into an extraordinary situation. This unusual premise is part of what makes Project Hail Mary such a compelling story. Instead of a highly trained space commander, the audience follows an ordinary person who must rise to an impossible challenge. For Ryan Gosling, the film represented a major milestone in his career because he was not only the lead actor, but also one of the producers. Taking on a production role added a new level of responsibility and pressure. Gosling explained that he first read the story when it was still an unpublished manuscript. Even at that early stage, he knew the story was something special. The novel, Project Hail Mary, written by Andy Weir, quickly became a favorite among science fiction fans around the world. Many readers described it as one of the best books they had ever read. Because of that intense fan enthusiasm, Gosling knew bringing the story to the big screen would come with enormous expectations. Fans were deeply invested in how the characters, the science, and the emotional journey would be portrayed. One character in particular captured the imagination of readers, Rocky, an alien being who becomes Ryland Grace's unexpected ally. In the story, Rocky comes from another star system and communicates with Grace in unique and fascinating ways. Their unlikely friendship becomes one of the emotional cores of the narrative. During the interview, Ryan Gosling laughed while discussing Rocky and revealed a funny personal detail involving his partner, Eva Mendes. According to Gosling, Eva Mendes jokingly admitted that Rocky might be the only co-star she's ever never been jealous of. The comment was meant entirely in good fun, but it highlighted just how lovable the alien character is. Gosling explained that he himself had grown very fond of Rocky while working on the film. He described the alien as the kind of friend everyone wishes they had. In the story, Rocky is intelligent, loyal, and deeply committed to saving his own species as well as helping humanity. The bond between Grace and Rocky evolves into a powerful partnership that crosses the boundaries of species and culture. Fans who have read Project Hail Mary already know how important Rocky is to the story, and Ryan Gosling believes audiences will fall in love with the character when they see the film. He joked that meeting an alien might sound scary at first, but Rocky quickly becomes someone you cannot help but care about. For Gosling, making Project Hail Mary was also another step in his ongoing fascination with space-themed films. This was not his first time playing a character connected to space exploration. Back in 2018, he portrayed legendary astronaut Neil Armstrong in the film First Man, which chronicles the events leading up to the historic Apollo 11 moon landing. Working on First Man gave Ryan Gosling a deep appreciation for the courage and dedication of real astronauts. The experience left a lasting impression on him, and it sparked a continued interest in stories about exploration beyond Earth. Now, with Project Hail Mary, he returns to the cosmos once again, but in a very different kind of role. Gosling also has another major space-related project on the horizon. He's set to appear in a future Star Wars film titled Star Wars Starfighter. With these projects combined, it seems that space adventures have become an important part of his career in recent years. When asked about this pattern, Gosling jokingly wondered if he might be a space case. He laughed at the idea, but admitted that he genuinely enjoys working on stories that explore the mysteries of the universe. According to him, space stories offer endless possibilities for imagination, discovery, and emotional storytelling. Another reason he finds these projects so inspiring is the opportunity to interact with real scientists and engineers. Visiting places like NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, JPL, gives actors a deeper understanding of the work that goes into real space missions. For Gosling, meeting people who dedicate their lives to studying the universe is both motivating and humbling. Beyond the science and adventure, Project Hail Mary also required Gosling to undergo a dramatic physical transformation for the role of Ryland Grace. Early in the film, the character wakes up from a coma aboard a spaceship. At that stage of the story, he looks disheveled and confused, with long hair and a thick beard that give him somewhat wild appearance. Gosling jokingly described this as a space caveman. The costume and makeup were designed to reflect the character's unusual circumstances. Grace essentially experiences a kind of rebirth in space. Because he's lost his memory, he must slowly rediscover who he is and why he's on the mission. The actor explained that this transformation was meant to represent two different kinds of evolution happening at once. On one level, Grace is regaining his memories and learning about himself again. On another level, he's also growing emotionally as he faces the enormous responsibility of saving humanity. Although the space caveman appearance served an important storytelling purpose, Ryan Gosling admitted that it wasn't exactly comfortable to wear. The costume included various substances designed to simulate the environment of the spaceship's medical equipment. As a result, Gosling often found himself covered in sticky materials that made the filming process messy and challenging. He joked that the more realistic the look became, the more uncomfortable it felt. At times, the goo from the costume would even get stuck in his beard, making the entire experience even stranger. Despite these difficulties, Gosling believed the transformation was necessary to tell the story authentically. While discussing his career, the conversation eventually turned to an important milestone. The year marked the 20th anniversary of Ryan Gosling's first Academy Award nomination for his performance in the film Half Nelson. That role was widely considered a breakthrough moment that introduced Gosling as one of the most talented actors of his generation. Looking back at that time, Gosling admitted that it still feels surreal to think about how far his career has come. He began acting professionally at a very young age and has spent more than 30 years working in the entertainment industry. Despite all the success he's achieved, he says he still sometimes struggles to fully process the journey. For Gosling, projects like Project Hail Mary represent a culmination of years of experience. He explained that the film demanded every skill he developed throughout his career. Acting, producing, emotional storytelling, and physical endurance all came together in one incredibly challenging production. He even admitted that he wouldn't have been ready to take on a role like this 10 years ago. The complexity of the character and the scale of the story required a level of maturity and confidence that only comes with time and experience. In the end, Ryan Gosling described Project Hail Mary as the most demanding film he's ever worked on. It pushed him to his limits both creatively and physically. Yet, despite the difficulty,
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.